Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and review we're going to be looking at the 1987 Japanese exclusive trainbot figure. This is of course Suiken. So in this video we're going to have a quick look at him both his modes, help you decide how you want to display him. Because he's a vintage figure, I'm going to point out things that you need to be aware of. You have to purchase one for yourself. Because I'm lucky enough to have a couple of different types of packaging, I can show you the beautiful artwork and battle scenes on them. And because one of mine was unused contents, I can show you the exact contents in there and how it would have looked if you'd have brought it brand new. So before we get started, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if I hit that subscribe button for me now please, because it really will help me out. So these, I suppose, well, let's be honest, they're fantastic, and I suppose they got quite a bit of mystery to them, with them being Japanese only exclusive figures. Now obviously before they were Transformers, they were Diaclone, and I think they were known as Train Robo. And again, it's still a bit of a mystery why they never brought these out in the rest of the world. I think obviously the excuse was that perhaps they didn't think that trains were popular enough. However, most of the Transformers fans I speak to would have massively disagreed with that. Right, we'll start off with looking at the alternate mode, which is a Tokai type 153 express locomotive. And yes, I have just read that because I had no idea. And here is I suppose they're basic figures, but as hopefully you'll see in this video, they're quite a bit of fun. The only problem with these is they do come to pieces, which they are supposed to, which means that you can sometimes lose the front piece rather. And if you want to display in train mode, then it's obviously no good whatsoever. However, the bonus is if you want to display it and you've got the fist in the combined mode, you can get away with it. And to be honest, you can also display it in the robot mode because all it means is you're missing this backpack. So the good thing is, if you're thinking of starting out buying some train bots, which is exactly what I did years and years ago, then I just upgraded each time. I think this one was my first one, to be honest, and it is, as I say, just basic, and I was able to display him like that in robot mode. And as you saw there, the transformation process is in fact very, very simple. We'll have a look at the robot mode while we're here then. So the head, of course, is just molded on. It's got a nice bit of paint detail on it though. The arms will move around at, I suppose it's the shoulder. There's no other movement with it at all. They will fold in, and then it looks like train tracks as well. In fact, you need them up. You need them folded out of the way so you can rotate 180 degrees to fold these over and slot it down. So there is again the alternate mode, and here is the robot. The robot came with this particular gun, which would fit in the hands like so. Now, to be honest, the robot came with the package came with loads. The robot can only hold that. The package itself, let's have a quick look at the first release. What I mean by the first release, it is this was released in 1987 as part of the Headmaster's toy line. The C stands for Cybertrons, 128 was, I suppose, his reference number, and because it was released in 1987, we've got the Headmaster's battle scene on the back, which you can see there. He did have a tech spec, of course, which funnily enough I've got one right there, so if you can have a look at that. I can't translate that unfortunately for you, and if I recall, oh no, the robot points at this point were still on the back of the box. So just knocked him over. Now the way that he came packaged is exactly like this. Now this, as I say, I'm quite lucky, it's unused contents, but the seal had come off, and so I opened up the package so I can show you in this video. So they are the connecting tabs, which would allow you to connect all the trains together. There's the gun, and of course he did come with Raiden's fist. And let me just show you. So yeah, you can see there's quite a bit of space between that, and the reason for that is they came with so much paperwork. And I suppose one of the biggest parts of the paperwork, in fact this was the bag that it was in, as I say, the seal split, so I've opened it up for this particular video. And the main reason why it was quite thick is that so what they used is what I would call an industry standard instruction sheet. So C131, even though we're looking at C128, which is that one there, C131 is Raiden, which is the big gift set, which we'll have a look at in a second. And it had all of the 6 train bots there in one big instruction sheet, and indeed a combining mode. So these were, as I say, they were packaged individually and indeed as part of the gift set. I've just realized I still left him knocked over. He also came with a beautiful collector's card, the tech spec decoder, of course. Let me show you that and spin it round. A little bit of a bio. This is the unused sticker sheet. This is the feedback card. And then this is a Japanese mail away catalogue, which funnily enough, I've done a video on if you want to see this in a bit more detail. So I'm going to carefully move these out of the way for now, and I'll put them back in a second. And then during the 1990 reissue of these figures, so Transformers were still going strong in Japan in 1990. They had the toy line known as Zone, and they reissued the trainbot again, but in different packaging. And even though it's the same figure, they gave it another reference number. This is C357. You can tell the package is different, and what the difference with these particular figures is there was no rub sign indentation. Again, that's unused, so I'm not going to open that one up. So a bit like with the gold boxes in the rest of the world, with the throttle bots, etc., they took away the rub sign or the indentation. They did exactly the same with the train bots in Japan. There isn't really any other differences, as I say, apart from that. Apart from if we spin it around to the back, you've obviously got a different battle scene. There indeed are all the train bots, some of them joined together, and there indeed is a beautiful picture of Raiden and the tech specs on the back. If you're wondering how big these figures are, I suppose, compared to some of today's, they are about as big as core class. So if I bring him right to the front where he fits in there, you've got, there you go, that is of course a core class Optimus Prime, and I suppose that's how big they are, so quite a bit smaller. This is obviously a very small deluxe figure, even Hound's quite small, so yeah, really small compared to them. In fact, so small that he's smaller than the New Age David figure, which you can see there. Right, let's just carefully move him and then very carefully adjust the camera a second. Let's try and get rid of some of these glare. This is of course Raiden, which is the fully combined mode version of them all, and again it's a great combiner. It's very cleverly done, the fact how they all fit together at the back. If you want to see a combining video of this, there is one of these on this channel, so where you can see me literally get them out of this box in the back and indeed build them all up, same as some of the other figures as well, Getsui, Shuki, etc. There's all individual videos on here. Before we get to that gift set, I want to show you this gift set. So this was the Takara Junior gift set. It's pretty much exactly the same figure, just smaller versions of them. Transformers Junior was only again produced in Japan. I don't think they did any of the Junior figures anywhere else in the rest of the world. It's again a carbon copy of the main set, just simplified and again scaled down, as you can see right there. I will get around to doing a video on this as soon as I can, in honesty. Before we go on to the main gift set, he has now, at the time of me making this video, had a masterpiece upgrade, which, to be honest, I've got to be, well, to be really honest, it's probably one of the weakest masterpiece figures that I've brought. I've brought it because I just love the train bots. To be honest, I just love the train bots. And again, this is a good homage. When you look at it, there's just too much panels to the original one. You can see you've got the big backpack on the back, etc., and all the train details down the sides. So yes, he's very panelly, but he's a good homage, to the original. Funnily enough, I've got this here as well, which is another masterpiece, and as you can see, the trains are, they're nowhere near as small as what the main robots are, but again, they've managed to update these, I'd say really well. They perhaps could have done better, but it's still a good figure. Right, let's bring the gift set over. This is unfortunately seen better days, but it's still one of the things that I was after for so long. So there you go, 131, all the individual bots are there, and this, because it's a gift set, if we spin it round, you've got 7 tech specs. So you've got 6 train bots, 4 of them there, 2 of them there, and of course the combined mode of Raiden. 6 robot points for this, and again you've got a basic combining set of pictures there with, of course, as earlier, the Headmaster's graphics on the back, because it came out in 1987. To be honest, guys, I don't think there's much more to say about these pretty much stunning figures. It's so good, to see these, I suppose, back in the spotlight now, because they do deserve it. And as I said at the very beginning, it was such a shame that we never got these in the rest of the world, and only Japan were lucky enough to have them. But there we go. Hope you enjoyed looking at him. Hope you find it interesting. And if you're after one yourself, again, try the Japanese auction sites, because you'll pick these up for next to nothing, because they're very common over there. Or of course you can try Artfire 2000. But there you go. This is Raiden 1987 Japanese exclusive combiner.